Yeah. So that leads me to the discussion around what issues, client issues, do you have specific questions about that you'd like some clarity in or some discussion around? Yeah, Rohan?
So I started I started giving my friend affirmations, and he's taking for like a month now, like 20 days. He's taking the affirmations. I have given it from the book. Yeah, and I also did Wise Man, and I was thinking, what should I do next?
Okay.
Like,
So,
yeah.
so remind me about him. What
Oh,
is he coming for?
oh, it's for its kidney disease. Like
Oh,
it's
kidney, right.
yeah,
And so far you've just done the wise man,
yes,
wise
sir.
person. Yeah,
And affirmations.
Yeah.
yeah. And so, did you have a discussion with him around the gift from the wise person?
Uh, not really. Not like on that. No.
Yeah. And do you know, well, I mean, even after, like, do you know what the gift was?
Oh, yes. He he was kind of blank for a minute, so we didn't totally discuss. He just said, we will talk on this when we will do our next session. So I said, okay, yeah. I'm not
Okay.
forcing you. Just
So it would be, next time you're using the wise being, like, it's really what you're looking for. Like, the wise being is to give you as a therapist, as well as the client, some insight into the messages that are coming from the unconscious mind. And
okay.
and so you really want to explore the wise being with your client. Um, and it's best to explore it, at least initially, while they're in trance, while they're actually experiencing the wise being. And so just getting detail, what's the wise being telling you? What are the messages? What is, do you have any questions you want to ask back, so that you're actually guiding them through, rather than, if it's done as a recording, then you just kind of ask the question and it's kind of like a rhetorical question. You're just waiting, giving time for it to happen. But when you're there in person as a therapist, then the benefit is that you can actually explore it with him, or her. And so just, as an overall, the most important message, usually from the wise being, is the gift. Okay, so I mean, recognizing everything in the experience is a reflection of that individual, right? And so you can explore everything in it. If you want, you can be using things like the two treasure questions, dreamtime questions, or whatever. Um, and it's most important to be exploring the gift, because the gift is a message of what is needed. So it's an unconscious message telling the client, the wise being saying, here's what you need, and giving that gift. And so um, it's good to explore it, and you can explore it similar and not necessarily as thoroughly as with the questions in the Dreamtime questions, but those can give you kind of some idea of some of the questions you can ask. And the what I always presuppose is that this gift is in some way designed to help them in their life. And so it's, what does the gift represent? What is it that you need? And how can you actually find that in the 3D world, that is represented in the inner world, the virtual world through the gift, but how do you actually find that out there? And so then that can inform you on your future therapy. Like, so is there, what is it like? Because some of the questions might be, well, what's blocked you from having that gift in the real world? What's blocked you from gaining those skills or having that experience or whatever? And so that might inform you about what, where you want to go in terms of traveling along the timeline. So, so yeah, so you know, it's a really cool exercise, and it's fun just to kind of do it. And really, the therapeutic piece is really exploring it, getting the information. What are those symbols? So now that's over, right? You've done that, but that might be a place where you can pick up with him next time. Is what was the gift that you got? Tell me a little bit more about it. Well, what is that? So how does that, you know, influence your life? What is it? What does that represent in your life? So that you can kind of explore that. Did you do any work with him yet on like the healing imagery or any of that stuff?
No, no.
Yeah. So what's his attitude like? Is he approaching this like, oh well, let's just play with it and see what happens, or is he kind of a believer that his mind can help his body to heal?
Yeah, no, he believes that. Like he has tried everything, like yoga, medicine, doctors, but
Yeah.
so
Okay.
yeah.
And does he, when you say he's tried it, is he following through on anything?
Just taking his medicines. Like
So he's not doing yoga on a regular basis, or
no,
yeah.
no.
Yeah. Okay. So that's part of the thing, is that he needs to develop a consistent pattern, right, of activities, right? Because this isn't something that's just going to be taken, you know, handled instantly, and so it's really working it through consistently. So doing like body, mind, and spirit really is how you want to focus, right, with him, because he has medication, and yoga is an excellent physical kind of process to open up the flow of energy in the body and get that stuff moving. You can provide the mental stuff in helping him to move in. So probably, like, do you think you're going to have him like for the long term, or is he just kind of signed up for 3 times and then he's going to walk away?
No, no, no. Not gonna go away for sure. He's like ready to do work for long term.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay. So the question, I guess, is for you. Are you ready to jump into the accelerated emotional release process?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, so that's what I would do next. Now, other pieces that you could kind of play with, but it is really just kind of playing at this point, because if he's committed and he's ready to go, then like doing switch pattern, doing hallways of the mind. Well, hallways of the mind might be useful as an ongoing basis, but I think healing imagery would be a better way to do it. So I think what I would do then is I would first work with any identification with that illness. So what is the source of the illness? Like, does he see it as being something that's in the DNA, that it's passed down ancestrally? Is it something, you know, that it's just happened? What is it, and when did he identify with it, in the sense of saying, okay, I guess I have it, and moving with that. So I think I would deal with that first along the timeline.
Okay. Yeah.
And there's probably the source event, the first time that that happened, there's probably been some maybe more significant events since then. And it might be after having some kind of doing some medical intervention or some kind of intervention and finding that that his health was getting worse, or something like that. So it's you want to start with when he accepted that this was a diagnosis, and then come forward to stopping anywhere where he stops along the way, but making sure that you stop at the point where he started feeling helpless about it. Okay, where he started thinking, this might be out of my control, or this is out of my control, or I can't do anything to change it, or something like that, where that happened. And what you have to be careful of with this is positive thinking. Okay, so you don't want him to be in a place where he's just saying, sort of overriding his feelings and his thoughts and stuff, and just saying, I can do it, I can do it, and just being that stiff upper lip, I'm going to go for it and just do it, because that becomes then a conflict, because there's a part of him that's going, well, this is a bunch of bullshit, I have it and I'm going to die, or whatever, right? So we don't want him to be caught into the positive thinking stuff. So you want him to be honest about when he thought, no, I'm not going to be able to escape this. Not that he necessarily had to think it all the time, but there was a time where it's like, I guess I'm going to die with this, or whatever. So you want to work with that, and you're not looking for it to be like, no, I'm going to live, but you want that, just that, okay, I'm going to die. You want that to be gone, and just go, I'm just leaving it open to possibility. Okay, so you're not expecting it to be, no, I'm going to live, but it's just open for possibility. Okay.
That's also probably why I would start with, even at the beginning of timeline, and maybe Dad, you would do something different, but that I would start with asking the question, like, how is this condition affecting your life emotionally now? Like, what is his emotional reaction to it? How is it affecting his reaction to his surroundings? Is he embarrassed by it? Does he feel weaker than everybody? Does he feel judged? Does he feel whatever? Because then you're going to get, if you start to pull out some of that emotional attachment to it, then you're going to get to the pieces around, like, when he decided that he was going to give up on, he's going to start changing his perception of his illness now.
Yeah.
And that's going to open up some other possibilities of perceiving it.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So you want to work with that perception, and you want him to be open for new possibilities, right? And then, so that can be a whole bunch of different layers. It can be doing all kinds of different things. And then once you've got that, and you might revisit it too, because this doesn't mean it's necessarily done the first time. It might be done through layers. And at some point then you're going to want to do the imagery, the healing imagery. Okay, so you're wanting to go in, get the message from that part of the body. What's the kidney trying to tell you? What's its message?
So is it like as like Tammy said, we pull out the emotions first and then deal with this on timeline. So do I do these things on repeat, like for every emotions, or
No, you go
Just the ones he's identifying,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
if he's identifying whatever it is that he's identifying, what's your emotional attachment to this? How is it affecting your life you know, emotionally, whatever he's identifying, pull those out, like go after those on the timeline first. That could be a couple of sessions. Like it sort of depends how quickly he's working.
Yeah.
And then what I would do is once that emotional piece is cleared, then go back and look at the messages from the organ, like from the illness.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to get all of the emotional pieces done. And I mean, typically though, I wouldn't go after each emotion individually. I'd go after whatever seemed to be the biggest emotion. And typically the other emotions will be connected with that. Right. And so then you can clear them out as a lump. Right. But if not, on your way back, let's say you've got anger, sadness, and fear, and you've got anger and sadness out of the way, but there's still fear in one of the things on the way back, then you just deal with fear separately. Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to do all of that stuff on the timeline. Get that stuff out of the way, because otherwise you're just kind of with the imagery. If it's not handled unconsciously in terms of the emotions and the beliefs and that are tying it together, then you're kind of spinning your wheels in a way with the imagery.
Yeah.
So then once you get the imagery done, or once you go to the imagery, work with what is that? What's the message? What do you need to do? Do you know how to do it? Do you have the resources? All of that stuff, so that it can be handled. And in each one of those questions, there might be more work on the timeline, right? So there might be limitations that he has that holds him back from getting the resources or having the resources or whatever. So each one of those things might have more work on the timeline. But at this point, once you're into the healing imagery, you want to get the list of what's needed, have an agreement to do it, and then start changing it, changing the representational system or representation of it. So then then you go back on the timeline and keep doing the other work. But this then becomes a daily task for the client. And once you've got the message, you've made a commitment to do the healing, then the question is, what should this area look like, feel like, be like? So remember, you're starting with what does it look like, feel like there, and then what's the message, and then what should it look like? What does a healthy kidney look like? What does this healthy place? Now, most often it's not like an organ, you wouldn't see the kidney, but it's, whatever, it's just something symbolic. But what should it look like? What should the changes be like? And then have them practice creating that change in their thoughts, in their imagination. So do that, make that change, let me know when that's done. Okay.
Yeah, sure, sir.
And then the homework is that every day, as many times as they think of it, go check that spot and find out, does it still look the healthy way? Does it still look the healthy way? If not, just change it. Just bring it back to looking healthy and go on. And keep track, for him to keep track of his emotions and his thoughts during the week, so that you know what's kind of coming up for healing, for release.